Hello guys, welcome, and today we are going to talk about the introduction of Python. These are the things which we are going to cover today: the basic program hello world, and what are the different steps required for the indentations and comment, what exactly these are all about. We'll talk about different variable types in Python and what is the data type conversion. We're going to write about the first Python program. Yeah, it's as easy as you can think of. Just open your Python, go to command prompt, just write Python. It will open your Python runtime environment, and it just write print and just provide the codes as you can see here. Yeah, just provide the word print and write whatever you want to write in the parentheses, and you will get the output exactly this. So it's as simple as that. You can start off. Second thing is lines and indentation. Yeah, Python don't have all the unnecessary syntax like semicolons and full stop at the end of a sentence as we have in a lot of other programming languages. It's provide no braces, nothing. Only you need to do the indentation. What does that indentation mean? If you're writing some branching logic, and we're going to talk about that, how to use those branching. For example, let's take this: if true, print true, else false. If it's just a simple logic we are writing, so in this case you see that if you're writing that kind of logic, you need to put semicolon, only colon. Yeah, you need to put colon in this, and if you are using this sentence, it's going to be wrong. So that's the importance of indentation. You just have to enter and provide 4 space or a tab. So that's the standard indentation thing in Python. Okay, comment is one of the most important feature of any programming language, where you write like what it's a more of a documentation where anyone who is reading your code, even you are reading your code, it's very important for you to get those comments so you can understand whatever you have written. So that's a comment part. In order to write a comment, just use hash, and whatever you will write after that will be taken as a comment. So compile or the Python interpreter won't take it as a command, it will take it as a comment if you write hash. Okay, let's talk about the Python variables. So variables are nothing but a reserved memory location to store values, and this means that when you create a variable, you reserve some space in a memory because you have to do some computation, right? You have to do some operation, and you want to save some value. So in that case, you need a variable, and variable is just a placeholder which will store a memory for you, and depends on the what kind of data variable you are taking, it allocates that memory reserved for you. So that's the part of a variable. Let's take a very simple example. We have declared a variable which is a counter is equal to 100. So it will take the value of 100 and keep it into a variable counter. Miles is another variable which is a floating type, and a name, it's a John, and it's again a string type. So let's print those variables, and let's see what are the values are there in that. So if you see whatever values you have kept in that, it is storing that value, and that variable has that value. So that's a pretty much role of a variable. Let's talk about what are the different standard data types we have. So in Python, whatever value we are providing, that variable take that data type according to the value it's available, right? So data stored in memory can be of many types. For a person, it's stored. Like for example, what you're going to store in variable, you're going to store some value, right? Maybe if I want to write some data feature or data about a person, so you might write its age. So it's going to be numeric. If I'll ask you to write its address, it's going to be alphanumeric because that can have numerical value, and it can have a string. So that will be taken as alphanumeric. That will also treat it as string. So there's some standard variables. First is number, second string, third is list, fourth is tuple, fifth is dictionary, and last one is set. So these are the very standard data types which are available in Python. So what does the Python number variable data type looks like? So this is a standard number format which has int, float, long, and complex. So these are the things, and it provides you what kind of value you will have, right? So int can have any number of values like 10, 100, and minus value, positive value. So that will come under the and if you are having float, so that is a more of a numeric value if you are having. Long is some larger number if you are having, and complex, it's a complex number that has real and imaginary part. So these are the different number type which you can have into a Python number data type. Okay, what we talk about the scalable objects, because see, it represents the int, and that also you have int which is having this numeric real number. Float will have a representation of integer real number, that will be a decimal point will be there. Another is a boolean type because it can have value true and false. And none type is also a type, the spatial value which will have value none. So for example, if you want to know what's the type of any variable, just write a function type and pass that number inside that. You will get its type. Okay. Another thing which is there is a type conversion. So that's what we have talked about. We have different data types, and if I want to convert some data type into another data type, that's when we use a type conversion. It converts that data type into another data type. For example, if I write float 3, so 3 is an integer, right? So it converts 3 into float data type, which is 3.0. And similarly, if I want to convert my float variable like 3.9 into an integer, so what it converts to truncate the value into the nearest integer. So that will be int 3.9, it truncates to 3. So that's all about the type conversion. Okay. How you're gonna bind different variables and values? So that's the role of a variable and the assignment operator. So for example, this is how you're gonna assign this value, right? And if you have like any variable and this is the value, so the assignment operator is going to assign that value and it's going to be stored in the computer memory. That's the role of a assignment operator, just like that. Okay. Now the good thing about Python is when you're assigning any variable with a value, and if you change that value, so that memory location where that particular variable is locating and it's finding there, it's not gonna change. So that's called the dynamic memory allocation. Yeah. It can, for example, we have this pi value is 3.14 and this is the radius value 2.2, right? And this is the area which we are going to calculate. This is pi into radius the whole square. When I'm going to change this radius value, right? When I'm changing it, its value is going to change, right? It's going to value change from 2.2 to 3.2, but the radius, the memory allocation of this variable is going to be same. Okay, let's talk about the strings, and these are the another data types which you have. So strings in Python are identified as a contiguous set of characters represented in the quotation marks. So Python allows for either pair of single or double quotes. Subsets of string can be taken using the slice operator. So that's works similar to the list. We're going to talk about that list. A string is also a type of a list, and which can index from 0 to n number of elements which it have, or you can work other way also. It's like -1 could be starting at the end. So let's talk see about how we can do. So just a basic program. We're going to talk in detail about the strings and other data types. So for example, we have taken a string which is called hello world, and this is the basic string, and let's print complete string. So this will print the complete string. Like if I want to print the first character, then I'm going to write star string 0. So this is going to be the answer. Let's see. And when I'm doing that second variable and fifth character, so fifth character is not going to be there, so it will give an output of second, third and fourth. So you can see that print characters from third to fifth, which is going to be your third, fourth, fifth. Now if I am doing 2:, this will give all the variables after 2. So 0, 1 and 2, which is going to be 0, 1 and 2, and after that all the elements it has printed here. So you can see that. And similarly, if I want to print 2 times hello world, any string, I can do multiplication, and if I want to add, I can concatenate. So these are some of the operations. We're going to talk about them in detail when we're going to cover string. Similarly, another data type which we have is a tuple. So what's a good and a feature about tuple is it's again a type of sequence data type similar to the list, but it consists of number of values separated by commas, and unlike tuples, it's gonna use parentheses. So this is the thing, but the major difference between tuple and list is it's only read only. So this is the biggest difference. You can't change it, it's immutable, and that's the basic difference. So let's take about this, and this is just an example. You have a tuple, and you can do all the slicing, but if you try to add or do any changes, it won't allow you to do that. Okay, another data type in Python is dictionary. So let's cover this quickly. Dictionary is a kind of hash table. So for example, if I'm taking you a table where you have a name and other parameters, so they work very closely like a table, and it has a key value pair. So what does that mean? If you have a key and the value corresponding to that, and it uses parenthesis as in order to declare. So this is going to be key and this is the value. This is the key and this is the value. So you can create a, maybe for example, if you want to have a database for students, right? So where they can have their name, their pin code, and maybe the which department they are in. So that way you can create a dictionary that will give you this output. So this way you can have a dictionary. These are some data type conversions. We're gonna talk them when we'll again when we'll use them in the program. So this is, if you want to int, is to convert any data type to int. Long, to convert any data type to int, long. Float, complex, string. So whatever data type you have seen, all the functions convert any value which you are passing into that type of variable. That's all. Thank you.